Merry Christmas! Welcome to JJ with Joy. I had so much fun with this journal. I just want to share it with you. It is kind of a long Tim Holtz style, but on the other hand, I did add a lot of other. I have so much stuff. I'm going to do a really quick flip through, that you can see just kind of a general and see if you want to watch the video, which I know you do. I know you do. And then I'll go back and explain everything because this journal is, I love it. So much fun. Let's start with the beginning, of course. Here I have on the edge, I added the candy cane and added a couple of buttons. I'm using some duck cloth that is from, I got it at Joann's. It's, the candy stripe, what do you call it? Ticking, that's what we call it. Now on the front, I have used the Tim Holtz underneath, and these are the baseboards with the little glass windows, which I think are so fun. And, everything on the front here is Tim Holtz except for the button, of course. And then on the back, let me get you there, I added one of these little Santa Claus bells, and I have randomness. This journal took me, somebody sent me this as a rack, and I'm telling you, normally I can make a journal, fairly quickly, but this one took over a week, and, it has just so many little bits I hand sewed, that you just, there's a little envelope here. It comes out, but it doesn't have anything in it. And I made this for a friend. She's been so good to me. Let me get into the inside. We have a couple little jingle bells here, and a friend gave me one of these vintage milk things that are, it's a true one. And now over here on this side, oops, I can see I need to pull that off. You know how it is, you get strings, you just keep pulling. This little image was, somewhere on the internet. I'm not sure where I got it. I think somebody had a digital kit. Now, I just had a curtain. It was a shower curtain. And, I tore all the prettiness off. I bought it at a store, I don't know. And I saved the silly little buttonholes. And so now I used it. There's so much that you can really find to use if you just watch for it, So this is the Tim Holtz thing. You flip it open and it has its own little pile here. I can see I have a string. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be there. Anyway, I just wanted to fill up with little bits and pieces here. Now on there, this is one of the Tim Holtz frames, and I put a real picture behind there that I had in my collection I had purchased. And this little doll, I just threw on some raggedy strings that were hanging around. And you can see layered behind here is one of those strips. There's the 25 with the punch holes. Let me get this out of the way. It's driving me crazy. Here goes my kitty. He wants to say hi too. This was a freebie that you can get on Coffee from Junk with Steph. And I put a rusted straight pin in there, and that just slips into this little pile right here. Let me use both hands, shall I? You'll have to pardon me. I did cut all of my little nails off, and so I'm struggling today, but that's all right. So once you get into it, we've got, different little bits and bobs, and there's a rusty pin, and the label, and this is from those little things from Hobby Lobby, and I ruffled it up with a couple pieces of fabric. And then, to me, this just said cheer, so I backed that. I put happy on there. And then one of these little Tim Holtz things, I had a image that fit perfect in there of, sitting on Santa's lap. I just think that's adorable. Now, all I did was cut. I have some fancy leaf trim here, or leaf sewing down the edge, and I just ripped a hole in there and made it so that little thing fit. This journal is only 11 pages long, so I'm here to tell you there was a lot in it. You can see the leaf trim here. It's not trim, leaf sewing. I'll get my words right here. Little button. I added just little things everywhere. I left room to write, very little room to write. Let me put this down so I can get some. I need tweezers, y'all. I can't do little lifty stuff. This is actually magnetic, and inside I just have a little Mrs. Claus Cookie Company, and it's just dyed, you know, distress, and that's a magnetic closure. And then on here, can you see I did the glossy accents. I also did glossy accents on his little glasses over here and the reindeer eyes. Put that little cutie there, and that makes a perfect little tuck spot for this side. This is Tim Holtz here, and I just put a little bit, because it said I didn't have any tinsel unless I go downstairs and dig out Christmas stuff, which I have not done yet. And I thought, well, that looks tinsel-y. I'll stick some of that behind there. Have a little bell. This is just sewn into there. It says Jingle Bells on that side. I did make a whoosh, you know, like, I don't know if you can see that little dash away, dash away. Now on this side, this is some more Tim Holtz paper here. It's his Christmas 2023, in case you're watching it next year. And I just added a couple pieces of little fabric, and this is Tim Holtz, that's Tim Holtz, Tim Holtz, Tim Holtz, Tim Holtz. Oh my goodness, lots of him around here. I just love this, and since there is Christmas trees about, then I added a Christmas tree charm on that. And, you know, shiny bright ornaments go on trees when you get it all set up and ready to go. And then this inside, this was also a freebie on Coffee Junk with Stuff. Gotta watch her. I hand sewed a little bit of stuff up there just to make it pretty. And I didn't back that one, but there's a little Tim Holtz thing here. And that just pops down in there. Now, this page has a lot going on. Well, every page does. So this flips up just a little bit so that this can come out. And this is all about gingerbread. So I put the gingerbread house here. There's recipes behind. We have the gingerbread, and you're wondering, why did you cover his eyes? I didn't like his eyes, but it'll come off. It's Tim Holtz. It'll just rip off. I did not glue it down. If she wants it, she likes it, she can take it off. But we have recipes. This is Tim Holtz's stuff. And, you know, added a little washi tape here, and this is just clipped on there. And on the back, then I saw somebody do this last year, and I thought it was the cutest idea. These regular tickets that we have that just are kind of, we don't know what to do with them. I just stamped on them with some Christmas stamps. And then inside this, there's a couple little tags that could be written on. And then that just slips down behind Santa Claus, and I did add the clip just to make sure that it would stay on the page, because and it added, you know, it's more. Now over here I have Christmas cookies. You know, they always have the little banner, and I kind of tried to make a little Santa Claus with rosy cheeks for that. Don't make fun of my little gingerbread. This was a freebie, I think, that somebody had a couple years ago, maybe. Don't remember who, I'm sorry. But I didn't like her eyes, so I just covered the eyes so it didn't bother me. And took a little jute and put it on there. You can see there's that sled. I put a little magic underneath the sled that goes shiny, shiny. I don't know if you can see it. In here, this was a freebie from Junk with Steph, probably 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. And then just put that little puppy dog in there. So this is a Tim Holtz, and I just put some of that garland looking stuff to shine through. And since this flops down, I did make this so it would just clip on and kind of hold it there. And on this side, I put a little bell. I love the bells. I got several bells in this journal. Added some scrapbook paper here, put confectionery. This was a freebie also from Junk with Steph. She has so many freebies, y'all. This I love. Oh my goodness. So we have, this is Tim Holtz, and I just added some fabric, and all of this is Tim Holtz here. And this flips up, and we have more Tim Holtz dashing through the snow, because look at them, they're dashing through the snow. They have their skis and everything. Isn't that cute? So that is Tim Holtz, this. And I just added a piece of fabric I sewed around. This button looked really cute. It has like gold in it. I don't know if you can see the gold down in the, but it looks Santa Claus-like, so I put it in here. Now this page starts a lot of the fun. So I have the transparency here, which, you know, I went ahead and used. It's this is Tim Holtz. This is. And I just put an image I had in there. So I added a couple tags here. Up here, I just tore off a piece of a thing and added a button with a string. Now these tie in, and let me see if I can get them untied easily enough. There we go. So as we come into here, there's an admit one. I love this fabric, so I didn't really want to cover too much of it. I did cover some of it. This is vintage. It's German vintage paper roll. What's it called? I have the name over here. Hold on. I'll find out the name of that darn stuff. Vintage German paper tape roll. That's what it's called. This is Tim Holtz. This is one of his baseboards. So once we open the door, there's a party happening inside. Now I showed this technique of how, if you have images that are just like, they're not great, they might be a smidge blurry, they might, like on this one, they took a picture behind a mirror. It says Merry Christmas. You know, back then we didn't know, a lot of people did not know that you don't take a flash picture toward a mirror. So it was all bright and shiny right here in like flashback. So I showed how all I did was I wrinkled them up, and I just, a coffee dyed them, I believe is what I did. I might have done a glue bath with them. This is Tim Holtz. So I just thought that was fun. It says Merry Christmas, and here's an old fashioned. It was a real picture that somebody had just, you know, ruined because they took it in front of the silly thing. There's a rusty pen. We call him Donner. This is one of the freebies from Junk with Steph from years ago. And there's the other part of that tag. So I'm going to leave those alone and flip on to the next page. So much fun, guys. Oh, I had so much fun making this. This was like, I think this is the most fun I've ever had, even more than woodland. I love making woodland journals, but this was just interesting and a lot. So one of Tim Holtz's little milk caps, I put an eyelet in it, put a little bow in it. I put, this is Tim Holtz. The frame is Tim Holtz, but this is a real image that I bought a whole bunch of images from someone. And you know, a lot of the image, like this was a snow, this is a fence and the snow is above it, and they're showing that they're standing on the top of the snow. And I just think that is fun. So I have it kind of tipped to the left so I can see a little bit. Now these are also tied in, and let me get in them. I just put 2 ties on that. Inside, here's one of Tim Holtz's images. The back, this is the backdrop also of his. This little parcel tag, I thought this would be something that might have been tied on the tree, so stick it in there, why not? Probably a receipt for a tree, you know, it says $20, so I don't know. Oh, it says 31. I don't know what it says. $20, it's something. Anyway. I made the journal so it kind of sticks up. I wrote this on one of those little tabs and stuck it on there, and that's just pinned on. But these little guys. This is a digital kit. I'm sorry, I don't know from who. I mean, I could find it, but I don't know right this moment. So that folds that way. I added a little extra tip in with this fabric here. Now over here, I have a used stamp. Sewed a piece of fabric up there. Believe, my favorite word in the world. I thought this really made her pop. This is a beautiful image, and this just, I think it just made her pop. It's so sparkly and shiny and Christmassy. And so we have that backdrop there, and then behind that I have this with a vintage wooden button, and on the back is just Tim Holtz's paper pack, and that's Tim Holtz as well. I loved the red polka dot. I thought that just added a bit of Christmas cheer, if you will. Now on this page was like, what? It just fell together. I was so excited about it. So I sewed this up here. There was a real vintage button. Look how thick this is. Chances are I would not have used this. I almost threw it away. It's kind of grungy looking, but it says Christmas to me. It has gold and ruby looking stuff, and I added a little tinsel stuff. This is Tim Holtz. This is Tim Holtz, and behind is Tim Holtz, and this is Tim Holtz. As well as the frame, and I think that's it for Tim on this page. So here we have another digital kit that I bought last year. I thought that's cute, adds a little bit of fun to the page. And you guys, when I put this page together, I literally said, well, what am I going to do with that? I sewed this, and I thought, well, I'll make a tuck up page, you know, and then here comes Santa Claus. Look at how perfect he fits in this hole. This is one of Tim Holtz's, and you know, he just fits. He's like stepping out. Yeah, he is. Santa Claus is stepping out. He's a little protected here, and I must squish him down right there so he stays perfect. Now again, this is now I use this yellow tape here, and let me show you how it comes. I think I bought it from AliExpress years ago. Temu has it. It is waterproof tape is what it is. I think it's for like electricians or something. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Down here on the bottom, I have another little jingle bell that I put an eyelet on and just hung by some scrap of paper. And this was a digital kit from someone, I'm not sure who. Have a vintage little button hanging off of a red bulb pin, and there's a vintage image that slips behind the picture here. And then this is just in here, this here, but because I like it all, you know. And then on this image, this I think was a digital kit. I'm pretty sure it was. I really don't know where I got that image, honestly. Oops, let's show her face a little better. Lots of fun. So as we turn the page, I have hand sewed. Okay, so I had 2 backs of the fabric. So I love this fabric, and I decided I was going to hand sew it on. So I hand sewed it this way, that way, and then I looped it as I went this way around this side of it, which just made it more fun. Again, there's another little tab that I just tied on there with a button, some baker's twine. This is a vintage postcard that when I was doing it in my live on my group, I'm on JJ with Joy. If you guys are interested and want to see how we made this, it is in my group on Facebook. But I had some green stamps, and then, you know, I have the whale tail punch. And so I was, you know, some of my members were like, no, don't mess it up. And I'm like, too late. I'm a messer-upper. Added a little bit of trim here, double different. I have just pieces everywhere. This is like a leftover. That was leftover. This is Tim Holtz here. This is not. I just had a little piece of leftover there, and I just decided to staple a little piece of tinsel down on top of it, make it pretty. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever used these little things, but they have little balls on them, and they usually fall off. So what happened? I was looking at it, showing it in my group that I had finished it, and lo and behold, I looked down and there's only one little dot. And I know I threw the other one away because I cleaned my desk off and I found it on my desk. Well, I didn't have the other one. I peeled these off and I decided just to go with liquid pearls. So I just peeled the little things off and put the liquid pearls on. It made it perfect. You know, it still looks pretty. It's not quite as shiny. I did like the shiny. I have a vintage real, you know, label maker, and I used that on there. Added a little trim here. I used a metallic marker to say to all a good night. Over here, this is a Tim Holtz with a little background from Tim Holtz paper too. And I have on this side, where on the other side, it says 25 in Tim Holtz numbers there. So here, I love this little house. I added a little bit of smoke. And now this was about hot cocoa. See, there's little kids. And so because of the little kids, I thought, well, we have to have a hot cocoa on this page. So I did the hot cocoa served here. It wasn't tall enough, so I made my own tag to get it above the house so we could see the hot cocoa with the children. I thought that was cute. And then I just sewed a little bit of that on, and the back is writable. I tore this up, made it look like it was ripped and torn. This was a digital. I think it was a freebie from years ago, 1 or 2 years at least. I've been doing this for I've had JJ with Joy for 5 years. So anyway, this is Tim Holtz here, here, here. And I did hand sewing. Look at the sewing on this. Isn't it beautiful? I love this stitch so much. I added a couple of little tags here, a button there. I hand sewed. I ripped this, as you can see here. I just ripped it. And I just decided to do some French knots on some of the fabric there. And then I just added a stitch across here. Thought that was fun. Another vintage postcard from 1911. So I left it alone, but I thought that was very nice. And the poinsettia popping out of the page just kind of said yes. Now over here, I have the Christmas chimes. I added a little bit of, I cut the fabric just a teeny bit to put a piece of paper over the top of it. And then I think I made a little oopsie doopsie. And so I just fixed it. You know, I made it pretty. Have the little Santa Claus Christmas list that goes in there. And as we open this up, see the Christmas list is there. And the good thing about this is, seriously, we can do this and still have it, you know, looking decent here. A little vintage images. Now, I made a mistake and I fixed it. So I decided I would cut this here and I was going to put something there, and then I'd cut this here and I'd put something there. Well, ding dong me, didn't think about it. But if I cut that there, then they're going to interfere with each other. So I just took and stitched and sewed and stitched and sewed and stitched and sewed. That's all I did. And to make this not go all the way down, I did sew across that. That's why I had this stitch here, was to sew across it to keep this from going all the way down. Or, you know, I had it where I wanted it to stick up there. So I think this is Tim Holtz here. I did cut off a little bit off the bottom though. Fancy stitching along here again. Now on this, I'll have to pick this up for you. I don't know if you can see, it says "Believe in the Magic of Christmas" on, there it is, Mr. Shiny Man. And I drew a poinsettia with some metallic markers. This is Tim Holtz here. I got this from Joann's. This is Tim Holtz here. So, Tim Holtz. Now, I don't want to open this part. I guess I could. It's just a continuation of that. I did sign it. This is the last page. But I think this is just pretty as it is with it like this. And she can open it up if she wants when she gets it. I put a little tab up here, and that's where that bell is. And I put a little, you know, tinsel stuff on it. Now, inside here, gosh, I'm hoping I don't forget anything. Oh, I did add a couple little pieces of fabric loops underneath here just to kind of add a little bit more again. And inside here is a little, I think I put something in here. I did. This is one of Tim Holtz's things. And I just stuck that in there. And let's see if I can get it back in. Sure I can. So if you guys like what you're seeing, I would appreciate a thumbs up. A share would be even better. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And ring the bell if you want to see more from me. Whoops. Hold on. One last little thing. This is Tim Holtz. More Tim Holtz. And I did the fancy stitching and just glued that in between those, which I think is cute. And I made the pocket. I sewed across the pocket. This is the last page. So I hand sewed across the back of it, the pocket, so that these could have two separate pockets in there. So anyway, there you go. That is it for today. And I'm going to send it off to its new owner. I am going to make another one because I had too much fun with this. I really did. I thought I actually was just enjoying it so much, and I thought, man, I want to keep this journal. Oh, I'm not going to do that yet. Anyway, it does have the ribbon doubled around and then sewed in a bow there that you saw at the beginning. So that's it for today. Remember, your day is full of choices, so choose joy. You all have a wonderful Christmas and holiday season. And I might have something else to add later, but it might be the last time before Christmas. So anyway, enjoy your season. Have a great day.